Good morning and welcome back to the Home Renovation Experts. Steve here. You may recognise this. I'm back on the Western Red Cedar one. First thing in the morning, get here early, really early doors, and I've just used a fair few bags of this. Do you see what I've done? Come on, that finishes it, doesn't it? That is beautiful. So yeah, just a load of pea shingle down the back now just to finish it. Stopping here, so I'll back this way. So you can now see this is the side of the building. So what's going on here is the builder's going to put in like a patio at this sort of a bit higher all the way through. So I don't put the pea shingle underneath it because the poor sod didn't have to shift it all again, which is just a pain in the ass for him. So stop there, stunning. He can do his patio, do his returning edge down to that, done and dusted. And now it's a nice little, I mean, you're not going to use it for much. You probably do a bit of storage down here or whatever you need to, but it just neatens it up. Brilliant stuff. So anyway, enough of this. I need to go back to the other job now and get some Vapour barrier on and hopefully some plasterboard. I'll see you in a minute. Oh yes, before I go, somebody said to me, what's behind the door? It's a good question. Shall we look? Shall we look at the horrors? Massive storage area. Look at that. Huge is. So just got like an LED strip light in here, which is perfect. And man, you have as a fuse board, so that's where that is. So yeah, I actually did forget to show you guys the inside of this bit. So there you go, one massive storage area. So I think the plan's going to be, as you're going to have like a load of units across here, worktops, that kind of stuff. So yeah, bloody fantastic. So that is it. I'm now off officially to the other job once I've been to Wicks to pick up some plasterboard. But then I'm off to the other job. Right, for you, it'll take about 2 seconds. For me, half hour, 40 minutes. I'll see you then. So totally be quick. Now that is it. Back on the 5x3. Quick tour de force if you didn't catch yesterday's one. So now fully insulated. Here, expanded foam gripped around it, so that's never going to come down if you walk on a ceiling. Now it's going to stay where it is. We have 8 lights. If you didn't see the video of how I spaced these, that's yesterday's video. Really interesting, I know, because I was in it. Patches is on. So the plan for now is going to be Vapour barrier. So here's your first top tip of the morning after the pea shingle, is when you're kind of measuring it out, get it on the floor, leave yourself a load of overhanger like that. It's very technical this, and then give it a kick. It's a simple way sometimes. So now I'll just like run that up the wall a little bit, up here, slice it, and that is it. That'll go straight onto the roof. And we are good. Roof, ceiling. It's roof when you're up on the other side, ceiling from this side. That's technical, isn't it? So that is what I'm going to do now. I'll put my little phone on and record me doing it, bit of time lapse. Some people hate doing this. It's like, I love it. I don't know if it's when I was a kid and like playing Nintendo and stuff, but you kind of just get it up, get it positioned, tack as you go. Again, just using the hammer tack. Very nice. With standard 10mm staples. And all you're doing is tacking it straight into the joist as you go. So I'll get that up. Once the ceiling's on, obviously do the walls. I'll then tape the joints with the foil just to make sure it's all sealed up. And then, yeah, start dragging some plasterboard down here and start getting some plasterboard on, which I cannot wait. This is awesome. I love this part. I'm closing it up now. Hello. Right. I thought I'd just do this and show you what I'm doing, because sometimes it's a bit easier. So what I'm going to do is grab my hammer tack, no puns intended, stick that in my pocket. So I've now cut this with the extra bit either side, like I said. I'm basically just going to kind of get it up, get underneath it, and get busy. But what I'll do is I'm going to start this end, because this is my square point. I mean, if I started there, it'd be fine, but I'd end up putting it to that line. And then, yeah, so I'm just going to start here. So you'll probably have it dangling. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? See? I should pre-plan these things, but I just like to do it ad hoc. It's real life. This is what's going on. So there you go. Is it a bit more comfy? Just check the angle. There you go. Right. Oh, it's a bit more cozy now. So what we're going to do is grab this like this. Get the front end of it. Again, like I say, this is not rocket science. I'll get the steps out of the way. Front corner, get up and under. Make sure you've got your overhang, roughly, hasn't got to be perfect. just as long as it's down the wall a bit, we're sorted. Then just start working the length of it. Like I say, it's like being in a tent when you're a kid. I hope you can hear this. It's good banter. Hey, fancy seeing you in. Right, so that's front to tack. So we just pull it up, get it nice and kind of tight on one point. Find my joist, work backwards from it. Trying to keep it tight, basically. You can't really do this stuff wrong. I mean, it really is quite simple to do. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And it doesn't matter if you end up with like bits where it's like kinked up underneath the plasterboard. It won't cause you irreparable damage or anything like that. Just kind of get a few in, just to kind of get your support mostly there, so it's tight enough. And where you're doing the first bits, like where you're just tacking it, put 2 in. Just because, you know, you've got the weight of it and stuff, that just keeps it in place then. I'll get that one up so it's out of the way of the camera. And who doesn't like using a hammer tang? It's just a cool tool. It's not always about all the big tools all the time. And that is essentially it done. So all I'm going to do now very quickly is just run around, put a load down each joist, sorted. Like I say, it doesn't matter if it overlaps, you just fold it underneath itself and tack it up, done. Easy peasy. And the reason we put this in is just to help prevent moisture from getting into the building. Like I say, no building is ever like 100% moisture resistant, because, you know, moisture needs to travel, it needs to move through things. We're breathing out all the time, you've got hot drinks in here or whatever. So this helps it kind of stop it going into the building. Any moisture from the outside, rain and that, can't get through. And even if it does get into behind here, doesn't matter, because the breathable membrane allows the moisture back out again. So the whole building is designed to breathe and not be like hermetically sealed, because that's no good for a building. So that is what all this is about. So right, I'm going to crack on, get that done, and then I'll just reverse that. I'll roll out another piece and I'll put it down towards the back, tack that on, and then I'll start doing the walls as well. Simples. And then once you kind of got it in place, what you will have to do is, like, they don't all go in, trust me, the staples are proud, you want to go around, just flush them off, because what they will do is, when you're putting your plasterboard up, they will kick it away a little bit and you end up with like bits of plasterboard that are kind of poking down. So just be methodical, work your lines of your joists, give it a little tacking just to make sure all flush. Job's a good one. Once I've done that, I'll then carry on and get the rest of these walls vapor barried. And there we go. So you can see that wall is not done. I'll explain why in a minute, but that is it. Looking rather green, all taped up, lovely jubbly. So what I'm going to do is get some plasterboard down here, stack it up against that wall. I'll get the ceiling then tacked, then get this wall tacked, that one done, and then I move all my crap from there over to here, vapor control that one, and then plasterboard. Just saves moving my crap from there over there, and then I'm gonna move it back again. Do you know what I mean? It's just like labour saving devices. Also, top tip, which I didn't realise, I just had a lovely guy from Short Skips come out, and he's like, yeah, kind of take the skip away. It's like, why? I've not had it ordered to be taken away yet. Apparently, if you order online for skips, sometimes they're going to now assume that you just want it for 7 days. I mean, I'm good. I am good, but 7 days to build one, Todd, that's pushing it. So yeah, but all good that ends well. He said, no, it's no worries. If I don't the office, you can keep it. So it's like, oh, that's all right then. But you know, bit of a liven the old heart up for the day, innit? So right, I should get some plasterboard up here and start like getting this ceiling tacked. Here we go. Am I sweaty? I should be, because it's carrying on the plasterboard, but there we go, big pile of plasterboard. So I picked up 12 this morning on the way back from the other job. 12.5 mil. Yes, you can go for 9.5 on ceilings, but why? Just go for 12.5. You've got a thicker board up there, makes a lot more sense. It's a bit harder to lift, but if you've purchased these, your life has just got a lot easier. So you can use those to help like hold it in place while you get it up, which is a lot easier. The other thing I did as well is I used this carrier, which is very useful. So literally, it goes under the board, hold up with your right hand, and then pick it up, simples, and then put down something to support it on. So as you put the board down into place, you can get this out, as opposed to trying to put these straight on the deck, and then having to fiddle to try and get this out, and you end up breaking the edge. Raise it up, and you just put each one down, bomb, off you go get the next one. Simples. So that is that, and I'm happy, I'm very happy. So now I'm gonna start sticking some plasterboard up. So what I do know is, which is very handy, is that I know this entire wall is perfectly straight. So what I'll do is I'll get the first board, get her up in place, and then over on the full length, I'll double check that the measurement from this wall here is going to be about wherever it's going to be, get to the 2.4 mark, make sure I'm going to be on the centre of a joist. If I'm not, I will simply chop off the end to make sure that that board finishes on a joist. Done and dusted. And that is it. I also picked up this morning, what did I pick up? Some 4x50 screws for holding it. If you're after a little tip, don't buy the black plasterboard screws. Those things are a flipping nightmare. They will leave so many shards of little black bits of metal in your fingers that, yeah, you'll be catching them for days. So get yourself some normal everyday wood screws. Happy days, they'll do it much, much better. And with the added bonus, you won't be like getting caught on magnets every time you walk past them. Useful. All right, I shall crack on. What do you mean you want a video of me actually putting the plasterboard up on me, Todd? All right, fine. I can do that. But I'm warning you now, this is going to be one grunty sort of not talking much kind of video. But I can show you some prep work. So what I've done is I've measured off that wall to this way. I know that my 2.4 is around about this one. And yes, my board will finish on that board, which is great. So I've got this one set up so it's just a bit lower than where the ceiling line is going to be. And I've done the same for this one at around about 1.2 away from that wall. Because obviously don't forget the ceiling is slanted. So this one doesn't want to be set quite as high as that one. And then I set them up so that the one closest to me is for this one, the one furthest away from me is for here. You can see the other ones are there ready to go. What I've also done with these two, because they're kind of at the end and they're leaning on plasterboard, on the bottom of these, I don't know if you can just see, they have holes in. So those two are actually screwed to the deck. So when I poke the plasterboard up there, they're not going to shift, they're not going to move, they're not going to slip. These ones, I don't want that because I need to grab them and manoeuvre them into place. So I've got one piece of plasterboard there ready to go. So what I'll do is I'll hump it up, poke it in there, then hold this end, grab, chuck it up, tighten it, grab it, chuck it up, tighten it. I'm done and I can run around. What I also recommend is having some sort of belt system because if you've got your screws on you in your pocket, it makes it a lot easier. And the same for your impact driver, have it on you, it's ready to go. Everything is quickly there because while you're holding it, you're trying to put the screws in and stuff like that. It's easy if you've got everything on you. Plus, you look cooler. Even though I'm silhouetted, you can still see, no complaints. So, this is it, live, recorded for you. So, I'll grab the board. So like I say, 12.5mm. And all you want to do is get it up over your head. And then, like that. Pokey pokey. Don't forget, you can use your head. That's not just the same. Get it over that one. Right, now what we're going to do is just budge it, make sure it's tight in that corner. This one's looking good. Get one more clip out of it. All right. Start winding it up. And I can see, because I can still see through the vapour barrier, I can see there's a truss holder there, so I know that that now is up against a roof joist. I mean, at the very end you are as well, but sometimes you want to come in a little bit. So, alright, see, look, just hold it with one hand now. Piece of cake, isn't it? Lovely and tight. Lovely and tight. Get this one jacked up as well. Same for this side. It's in place. I'm done. I'm going for lunch. I'll see you later. Obviously I'm not. So that's nice and tight. It's tight up against that wall, but ish. So now I can kind of come here and give it a little budge if it wants to go. Tight wheels there, tight. And now, impact driver. I can walk along it quite merrily. I'm not now struggling trying to hold the bloody thing up while zipping it, which I have done before. It can be done. But you really are using your head for that a lot. So I'll just put a couple in. To kind of bear the weight of it a little bit. Right, and then what I do is, now I've got that up like this, grab your level, grab a pencil, which is all in your pocket ready to go. Put it through the centre of that screw, find the centre of your joist, mark a line, like that. And what you'll do then is, do that for all of them, so they're all marked up. And now, you're not guessing where your bloody screws have got to go. You know, there's always going to be a fixing. So there you go, fixing. To prove it does work, I'll go straight in the centre. And that is as simple as that. Like I say, these things are a no-brainer. I can't remember, they're not expensive by any stretch from Screwfix. But how easy is that? So what I'll do is, I'll now draw the rest of my lines, finish screwing it in, and then measure up the next one. Is that cool? It's cool, isn't it? Totally, it's not rocket science. Right, another little top tip for you. So you can see it's coming along now, very tastily. to work out your angles with the dangles, okay, because you can see it's a very slight, widen it obviously that end, and it tapers off to very little that end. The other reason for starting the front is because you're working a straight line all the way through, which now means I can take a measurement from this here edge there, right into the corner. The same for this end, so my 2.4 meters comes to there. So I'll measure from there to there, ready for a cut. Now, when you're cutting a plasterboard, all you do is put a straight edge on it. Now mark your distance that you've just transferred. So for me, just under a meter from there to there, pencil marks, 47.5 from there to there. Make sure you're working on the board the right way so that once it's cut, it will then go straight up. But you'll need a straight edge, but oh look, this level's not going to do it. How will I ever hit that other angle over there? So all you do is get yourself another straight edge, in this case, another level. Connect them like so, extend. I mean, I did set this up earlier, but there you go. See, there it is on the pencil mark. There it is on the pencil mark. Now all I do is run a knife down this edge of this one, get this one out of the way, pin this one in place, and then run a knife down this edge all the way through to there. And I've got my perfect straight cut. Happy days. Oh yes. What a beautiful day. It's not too hot, not too cold, absolutely spot on. That is it, done for the day. But, yeah, come on. That's not bad going, is it? Not bad going. Considering a late start as well, because I had to go to the other job and knock off the pea shingle and do a few bits and pieces to get all this like vapor barrier, and then plasterboard the ceiling, plasterboard the back wall, which now leads me tomorrow. Vapor barrier that wall, move on my crap, but once I've plasterboard this wall. So plasterboard this wall, these walls, right here, move on the crap, vapor barrier, plasterboard, happy Steve. Then I'll probably also tape it up as well. So I'm using scrim tape to go across all the joints, like here. Always do that. I also always scrim tape around the corner as well, so you get about half the scrim tape there and then a half there. It just prevents the cracks from appearing there. You're always going to get cracks in these sort of buildings, fine cracks. At the end of the day, it's a timber frame building, so it goes to extreme heat, extreme cold, so you've got the swelling of the timbers and stuff. But you can minimise it by doing these bits and pieces, by putting that scrim tape on there. It'll just help to hold that joint together. Done and dusted. Any questions? Ping them down below. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon, because it really helps me out. And if I've done something you think, Steve, you plonker, think about doing this, then pin that comment down below as well. Brilliant stuff. I will be back here first thing tomorrow and I'll get these walls cracked out. See you then, guys. Bye.